we are going to spin an album pie wheel. The bigger the piece of pie, either the longer it's been on the pie or the more people have paid to boost it. So we're going to roll this wheel, and whatever this wheel lands on is the album I'm going to react to. Part of me is hoping that a small guy wins, so all these big pieces of pie have to feel terrible for a week. But, guys, let's go ahead and see what album we're going to react to, shall we? Here we go. Good luck to everybody, and to everybody, it was a small one. Boom. Okay, guys, we are gonna look up 2 by Bad Books and check this out. Bad Books 2, I think. Okay, there we go. That's an album. That looks like the album. This is an album with Bad Books, Manchester Orchestra, and Kevin Devine. So yeah, everybody shout out to Crimson Raider who got his album pie picked. Which means we are going to remove his name from the album pie, and we're going to go through and increase everybody else's odds just so everybody sees how this works. And now, the next time we go to spin the wheel, if anybody else gets on there, they're going to have a really tiny piece, and everybody else has pieces this big or slightly smaller because, again, you know, the way circles work. But guys, we're going to hop into this reaction here. I'm pretty juiced about it. Remember, every Monday, I do Community Music Monday, starting at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time on Twitch. And if you would like a song or an album reacted to, all I ask is that you spend time with me and this wonderful community over there. Guys, I'm going to hit the play button on this thing. But before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you're deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. And if you really like what you see, leave a comment or join us on Twitch. Those people over there are the best people, and I'd love to hear from you. And, you know, we just want to listen to good music with like-minded people. Guys, without further ado, though, this is the album 2. I've never heard of Bad Books or Kevin Devine, so I'm pretty interested. Let's see what this is all about, shall we? Here we go. The After Party. Ultra Red, thank you for subbing. From me to you, here's to you. Welcome to the Rooskies. Chat, make the new friend feel at home. I'm going to start that over. Here we go. I love this sound. Ooh. Kind of has like an analog tape delay sound. This noise is awesome. Oh man. This does give me formative that.
I am the after party skeptic threat. You moved to San Francisco and I want it all.
Wow.
Lost it all.
What's up, Aunt Margosa? Dude, I just want to say this is definitely in that era of like 05 to 09 music for me, for sure. Scarlett, how's it going? Guys, yeah, this is fantastic. Crimson, very good start to this album.
Lost it all.
Gives me an older Death Cab vibe.
Now I know it's good to be alone.
Ah,
It's good to be alone. It's so good to be alone.
definitely some Shins and definitely some Decemberists here too, but this swelling, reverby, fuzzy sound.
Who thought you'd end my baseball outside? And my God came and fixed me, and I had it all.
I love that. You know I had it all.
Didn't suit me. I
I'd like to take a moment and comment on the lyricism here. I lost sight and my God came and fixed me. You know I had it all. Ends up, it didn't suit me. I had it all. Now I know that I hate to be alone. It, I mean, kind of just hits me between the eyes, you know, when I reflect on my life. And I'm not saying that in a place of lamentation. I mean, I feel like I've worked really hard on learning how to be content with the life I do have now, and that's fine by me. But something so poignant as that I cannot disconsider how familiar it feels.
I had it all.
Hey, don't worry, Scarlett. We're just happy to have you.
I hate to be alone.
Even just...
Oh, I hate to be alone. Oh, I hate to be alone.
I really like this a lot. I love Third Eye Blind. Ooh. I love it. This is right in my alley, but the duality between the ideas of I hate to be alone and it's so good to be alone. The duality, like I was saying, the duality between I need to be alone, I hate to be alone, it's so good to be alone. Like there's such a contrast here, right? But all of these things I find are true. Like there is this element of me where I 100% needed to be alone. What's up, MCR45? Welcome by, homie. Welcome to the Rooskies. Rooskies, make our new friend feel at home. But there is also this element of like, I hate being alone. Like it drives me crazy. And I spend a lot of my time thinking like, what if it's like this forever? What if I am a guy that doesn't fall in love again? What if I literally just live here in my tiny existence, making my little videos and being an underwriter for a bank? And like those things are really, really real concerns that happen. I just wrote a song called A Loneliness Observed, you know? So like there's definitely this thing here where I feel like there is an element of, you know, familiarity with this idea of loneliness, because like I needed to be alone to grow. I hate being alone, but then there is an element where it's good being alone. Like even if you dislike it, whether it's you're away from the thing that was bad, or you know you are healing from a place that was bad, you know, I don't know. This the concept of loneliness in general is nuts. And then for the song to be called After Party kind of makes me think that's what happens after a breakup. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. And again, it's right in that era of music I would have really been digging into from like 05 to, I'd even say like 2012, like college, you know? Hey, thank you so much, Scarlett. No reward. For sure, Ultra.
With my diamond in hand, I steer the ship towards the future. With my eyes full of sand, I make a method of math. The desert blunders and cataracts, grab the battle axe, let the faith outfox the fear.
Wow.
Snap
You know, I'm hearing a lot of guitar sounds that are really reminiscent of like that pop punk vibe from like the days of, you know, like honestly, part of me kind of feels like I'm hearing like I don't know if you guys remember the band Letters to Cleo, but a bit of me feels like the vibe reminds me of Letters to Cleo, or even the band Veruca Salt. Maybe more so the band Veruca Salt and their song Seether, which I guess that's more late grunge, but and I don't know why I'm picking bands that have female vocalists, because it's not like I think this dude sounds like a girl. It's just that kind of pop punk vibe where it's like grunge was leaving, pop punk was starting. I don't know. Does that make sense to you? It also reminds me of like we have the facts and we're voting yes, like one of the earliest Death Cab albums. It's like it's kind of like an old fan favorite, but it definitely has that vibe for me, like recorded in somebody's living room kind of vibe, which is a good thing to me. Spacey leads. Kind of feels like it took something out of maybe Sonic Youth's book there with that big thing, because it wasn't like it was a dynamic lead or solo or anything. It was just big, a lot of noise, a lot of reverb, and it really filled it out without having to be a shredder. I really like this vibe of indie rock. I think it's because as a kid, I was able to play music like this. This was accessible. That reminded me of The Used or MCR. I think it was The Used, though, of The Isolation Shore. That reminded me of the lead singer of The Used. That was also really good. I really enjoyed that. This one is called Forrest Whitaker. Can somebody tell me the combination of Bad Books, Manchester Orchestra, and Kevin Devine are so it seems like these three groups came together for this project, or like give me a bit more about it, please.
Half right.
Okay. Huh. It's like a happy Reggie in the full effect.
We started a fire.
Wow.
That was never supposed to burn out. You started.
I like the overly compressed and crushed drum sound here.
It turned pretty bland. I started a fight with a neighbor now. store and his pesky wife. You started a job that you hate when you're sober and hate even more when you're not. I know you hate.
This has been kind of the weakest one on my list. Kind of reminds me of like, I feel like Oliver Tree kind of sounds like this part a little bit, but this has definitely been my least favorite so far.
That you hate when you're sober and hate even more when you're not.
Not that I dislike Oliver Tree.
You hate me too. Always say you do.
Like, am I the only one that's not hearing Oliver Tree like in their head? Because I feel like I can hear him being like, I know you hate me too. Like, again, I actually really love Oliver Tree, but I just feel like this particular part sounds like a part he would do in a song.
I know you hate me too. Always say you do. And you moved to Japan. Thought a clean bill of health and a camera could show you the plan. I bought a bird that repeats what I say, but I'm lonely.
What's up, shiny folks?
You found a guy that is clearly the opposite me with a black motorbike. I digged around, but it's just like a movie. This picture is off with the sound. I know you hate me too. You always say you do.
I like this. It's like a guitar mini.
Started to write. It was subtle at first, but the danger was clearly in sight. I don't reply due to lack of an ego and laziness.
Wow.
Cuts like a knife. You say that you're good.
I really liked that lyric. You started to write, it was subtle at first, but the danger was clearly in sight. It's like you get that text message that you know you're getting dumped, and like, you know, you leave it on red because you see where it's going in your head. Due to lack of an ego and laziness cuts like a knife. You say that you're good.
Had a baby with biker named him Forrest Whitaker. I'm laying low on the probable chance you convince me.
Yeah, I love the 8-bit sound.
I know you hate me too. You always say you do.
It reminds me a little bit of a band I used to listen to called Attica Riots.
Always say you do.
This feels like it could have been on. This feels like it could have been on the movie Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. It's definitely like a love movie, like a teenage love movie for kids that liked indie rock. It never stops.
1 o'clock, June 6th, sunrise.
Just carrying it on one note.
God hid an
Made it a chord.
wave.
God hid in amphetamine waves.
Margaritas and disposable days.
Oh man.
Folded arms and I felt your heart.
Okay, I like this.
Speedy eyes and I want what I want. The truth cut with the generalized fear. Cash baggies in our ashtray beer.
Cash baggies in our ashtray beers.
I know
me, a little bit of me kind of feels like that part phoned it in a little.
McCarran Park when the culture crashed down.
I love these 8-bit video game breakdowns, though. Hey, good night there. Love you, universe.
Ice cream cone. I kept a secret till I took you home. They split two sides. You flipped your course.
This part is better.
Honey, you never stop. The leaves laugh, the bed burn. I know once you brought away my turn. Honey, it never stops. No, it never stops. No, it never stops.
I like this sound here.
Can't park when the beauty bled out.
This is really picking up.
Years in my cotton ball now. You held my hands and don't let me drift. Said I never even think of it. And I knew right there I could have you, but I have to share. Honey, it never stops.
This is so nice.
So we slept, sun left, traveling up
The harmonies here, where the second voice goes way high, like way kind of shouting.
So we slept, sun left, traveling
I love it.
up shades of red. Honey, it never stopped. No, it never stopped.
Boom, boom, boom,
No, it
boom,
never
boom, boom.
stopped. No, it never stopped.
You hear that?
No, it
In the
never
back.
stopped.
Better than Forrest Whitaker, for sure.
No, it never stops.
I enjoyed that. Again, it wasn't my favorite so far. I think my favorite one has been, yo, Bish McPoe got a number. We got a number. If you saw the movie Night at the Roxbury, that particular moment is relevant to you. I think it's funny that Forrest Whitaker seemingly was the biggest song on the album, and it was not my favorite. But yeah, this one is called Piotr. I probably said that terribly. So far, I think the after party has been my favorite, though. Like, the opener was super good. Yeah, W's for Bish McPoe, the man who got a number and a dinner date.
Bare-breasted, you make love in the turret.
Band of Horses is what this reminds me of.
Bare-breasted, you make love in the turret. I feel each single thrust that you take. And in silence I watch on from the bastion. Entranced I make myself look away.
Oh, wow.
And bare-breasted making love in the turret. I've never loved nobody other than you. And in silence I can feel as you quiver. Keep quiet or you know what he'll do.
Wow, this is...
I know I am not the man you
Dang.
desire. I know you think that I am some kind of fool.
That's tough, man.
And I know you would gaze in his eyes forever. I figured out just how to give that to you.
This is a good song, but it's a sad song. I've enjoyed this album. This I feel like we needed a melancholic song.
He found us in the western wing sleeping.
The genre sort of demands it.
You cried at all the things you thought he would do. And I tell you in the heat of the scuffle,
I wouldn't go as far to say it sucks at all.
takes my eyes off
It's each their own opinions, but I'm enjoying this. Like, there's such a sadness to it.
And how you run me my fever. Oh, Catherine, tell me, was it worth it for him?
It's pretty ballsy when you name a partner in a song, because you don't get to take that back. I've myself thought a lot about how kind of I regret some of the songs I posted about my divorce, like, which is why I've taken them down. Because I feel like in a lot of ways it's a perspective I don't want to allow to manifest any more than it was. I think naming somebody in this context, especially in a what seems to be a "you picked him over me" song, is really, really like kind of ballsy. It's definitely one of those things where like there is because it's possible that the other guy hears it too, right? Like it is an emotionally tough thing to do. Like it's a brave thing to do.
These guys
Because personal
are no place for the stubborn.
Wilco could be. I could hear a bit of
Just
it.
you and your lover as a dark souvenir.
Spoon?
She sees me on display.
The weaker
inside
than's a
the
bit as
museum.
well to me.
Comes every morning and again when she can. Strokes her blistered hand across my glass container.
It's
Saying
definitely
it's so good to see you back here again.
wow. Tell me, was it worth it for him? These gallows are no place for the stubborn, just you and your lover as a dark souvenir. She sees me on display inside the museum, and I think in this case, the museum is like in her brain, like her memories. She comes and she like thinks about him. Like in my brain, this whole part is just her reminiscing the time, and like she's worked hard for whatever it is she has, and she just kind of looks back at the memory. Is kind of what I feel. Friendly advice. Come on. Okay. I feel like I was right.
I don't mind. I made this decision so we could never grow, could never grow.
There's a 90s grunge band or alternative band that this is reminding me of too.
Could never grow, could never grow. I can see
What do you mean, Cannonball?
Never grow, never grow.
Wait, that so I Yep. Thank you.
Just a month, think, oh, you never show,
Yep.
you never grow.
That was so it, guys. We all really came together on that one. Way to go, Rooskies. We literally were like, this sounds like a song. This also sounds like another song. And we were all like, just Johnny on the spot with it.
I spent the entire last month thinking of ways to scout my head and impress you with the way I speak.
Giant Rooks. The vocalist reminds me of the lead singer of Giant Rooks from the Rookery sessions. It's just in some songs, and it's the way it gets a little cracky and he kind of backs off the mic. But the lead singer here reminds me of the lead singer of Giant Rooks. I've been thinking about what the instrumentation sounds like the whole time, but I couldn't put my finger on what the vocalist sounded like to me. And while that's probably not some big realization for you, I've had the band's name Giant Rooks on the tip of my tongue this whole time.
Spent the entire last month thinking of ways to scout my head and impress you with the way I speak. I don't mind if we're alone, as long as
I love these harmonies.
alone. And by that I mean you can't speak with anything about me.
It really is like they combined those two songs for that transition part, though.
Forever still wanting to seize and never grow, and never grow.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm resurrected in this one that's never known, it's never known. Left alone.
A little Silver Sun pickup sounds here, too. From like the Carnibus.
Entire past life, thinking of ways to wake the dead, repress the anger in my speech. 'Cause when
Especially with this, like, there's a guitar, there's a bass, there's a synth, and then there's the drums. And I feel like it's maybe just that arrangement that's got me thinking this. But like substitution era Silver Sun pickups, maybe even the pickle era, or like pickle era Silver Sun pickups.
you let it go, let it go, let it go.
And I could also be thinking that because I feel like I'm hearing a female background vocalist, which kind of pairs up with what Brian Aubert does in Silver Sun pickups.
Let the skin graft on your soul.
You let it go like a skin graft on your soul. Oh my gosh.
Just so you know. Just so you know.
I'm so impressed with this. This is definitely hitting me in like a staple timepiece of my life. like really such a period time for me. It really is like, yeah, again, I cannot help but flashback to high school and early college. Like I'm really blown away. No sides.
Enjoy your 5 short breaths and pretend it's meditation. To shower, head higher, power, give me patience. Make me nobody's robot, make me nobody's slaughtered lamb. Deliver me from evil and open me as best you can. Play your crack guitar for the Boston occupation. Ditch your blindfold drift, aim at aimless destinations.
I actually really like this. This has kind of been like the kind of upbeat but not vibe.
Watch the weekend assembly, the principled righteous ride.
Flaky's struggling with this album.
Sets and men honored to be here by. See a slow cry.
Oh man, I like that part.
See a slow cry. At a new wave. And if you feel small, don't babe whenever you're alone you're not.
This is like so up my formative years alley. I cannot, because indie rock is like really where my first love in music was, and I think that it's definitely like what served as the springboard for me to discover all of the other bands I would go on to like. It also seemed so attainable to me as a kid that, like, when he was learning to play the guitar, could play, you know, these songs with chords, and it wasn't like there was this huge entry level to try to play songs that you could sound good to play along with. And this really puts me into that vibe. But definitely Sad Boy Andy is not for everybody. Hey, yo, thank you, ridiculous. Welcome by, friend. From me to you, here's to you. There's this really kind of like simple lead in the background, just a up and down stroke. This is a fun vibe, dude. I can see where your Death Cab comparison is coming from on this one, Crimson.
Now it's a nightclub.
I do like this. But again, I think I like this. I think I like this because of the time period it reminds me of in my life. Like, it really reminds me of being in high school again. Like, this is so, like, I feel like this would be a song that I could have heard featured on, like, Smallville or, like, some TV show I was watching on the CW, because that's what, you know, music like this sounded like in that time period. And there's, to me, an element where I don't have the musical taste I have were it not for the springboard that indie rock, you know, you want to be reminded. Nah, you know, it's not like I want to be. It's just they were simpler times. Like high school versus adulthood. I'll take high school every single day. Like, let's go. You know, I had my first love in high school. That was fun and exciting, even if it was filled with its own little, you know, drama. Yeah. Like, the further away you get from it, the brighter and brighter the times seem. And even if it seemed like terrible then, it wasn't terrible at the end of the day. I've got a lot of good music out of it. I have a few friends still from that time period, and even if we're not like as close as we were, like they're real, like they exist. So there's a very nice way. I don't know. I like this. Yo, thank you for following again, Ridiculous. And again, yeah, feel free to stick around. I'm definitely going to continue to do... Tomorrow, I'm going to be reacting to XTC Drums and Wires and Talking Heads. I forgot the name of the album because I'm trying to remember it. Somebody, yeah. Josco, what is up, homie? Remain in Light. Chaotic Old Board. That's still super cool, though. So this is Petite Mort. This is definitely giving me Band of Horses and the Shins vibes. For sure. Josco, I friggin' love you, man. Petite Mort, you sang until you slept. Oh man, you took yourself, you bastard. Petite Mort, sleeping's all that's left. This has got me hooked, man. You took apart sympathetic angle. You catered to the bitterness inside. Resigned yourself to depths I couldn't handle. A million daily deaths before you'll die. You want to know why this stands out to me is because when I go to write my own songs. Good night, Amargosa. I love you. I love you, friend. Best to your family, by the way. When I go to write songs, a lot of the times they just kind of organically come out kind of sounding like stuff like this. Like truly, it really does. Like, and I think it's because of how deeply like that formative writing level went, and maybe it's just like my lack of being a truly virtuoso, a truly virtuistic musician. I mean, I'm a good musician, but I'm not a virtuoso by any means. I have a pretty decent ear, but that's about all I can. I play decently a couple of instruments, and you know, at the end of the day, when I go to write, a lot of the times it comes out like this stuff. So, yeah, I think the reason it hits me is just a little bit different because like this is kind of in the vein of how I learned to write, or kind of taught myself to write. Like I spent so much time listening to Death Cab and to Neutral Milk Hotel and to the Decemberists and to the Shins and to Band of Horses and Frightened Rabbit. I may have already said them, but this reminds me of so many different things. Like it reminds me of the music parts remind me of Silver Sun Pickup, certain areas of Tegan and Sarah. And all of this is really hitting me in a place where it really strikes me in that formative era, like before I really discovered classic rock, well before I discovered psychedelics, like well before I saw the DMT faces, which looked kind of like the DMT nipples from earlier. Like all of those things, I think like I 100%, those things affected the way I listen to music, but none of those things happen if it wasn't for, music that sounded like this. And to me, that's kind of what makes this so nice a listen. It's not this big, crazy, solo-y, riffy, jammy thing. In fact, it's all kind of pretty simple to play. But there's a spirit to it that really just resounds with me. You'll have to watch another reaction on that one. sounds unhealthy. Jury's still out.
Layer after layer of subconscious, 104 reason in the world. I tore apart the map and started backward. I couldn't picture living there for good. I left you there to finish starting fires, and I left you there to propagate your life.
Wow, I left you there to propagate your lie.
Cause honey, I was tired. I left you, but that doesn't make it right. I remember your bedroom, ivy and clover. You kept me alive.
There really is so much of this that just hits me so deep. Like, there really, I know I keep harping on this, but I just cannot get past the nostalgia that this brings to my life, and it's not even music I've heard before.
Petite Mort, I'm asking for an answer. Petite Mort, you sing until you slept. Petite Mort, you took yourself, you bastard. Now Petite Mort, sleeping's all that's left.
Ooh. You know, Gizhenge, I think that the Shins are quintessential anyways, but I have a playlist that features those bands. Crimson, I'm really impressed with your call on my taste, especially if this was your recommendation from having listened to my Formative 5 playlist. This fits right in with those 5 albums. As far as just like genre-wise, like where they land, absolutely. The only other song I knew before, well, 42. Hang on. It's like they're one-upping Dave Matthews Band.
When you're with another man inside another home, do you adapt to the walls?
Oh, wow.
Do you adapt to the walls? Found the newspaper, thumbing my hands through it, doing another dance, doing what I could with it, don't. You gotta leave me alone.
Very much a quiet Death Cab song.
If you still lived at home.
Maybe not even that. Kind of like an Iron and Wine sort of vibe.
If you still lived at home.
Little Sufjan Stevens, maybe?
You'd have done without a colder beer, fresh pack of zigs and zags, lighting another
Zigzags.
and
I recently found out that zigzags don't mean rolling papers for weed to everybody. To some people, they really use zigzags to roll cigarettes, and that was mind-blowing to me when I found that out.
was hungover and you would come hang over. I was hungover and you would come hang over and stop a biblical fire.
I'd be really interested to know what stopping a biblical fire means to him. I like that little bit.
You and your dad were a tragic mishap.
Oh, wow.
When a man loves to drink more than blood, and I pace my room for an hour or two every day since 2001.
Oh,
and I
man.
think that I talk too much.
Wow, he really sent it there,
And I
huh?
talk too much.
He really sent it there. I like this kind of spacey, reverby P key sound. really a less is more take there, you know? I really liked that. There was just kind of a somber tension to it. This album has flown by, which is crazy to me. But I've commented before that the albums that seem to fly by are typically the albums that like I really just found myself kind of captivated by for one reason or another. That one was that one was super good to make me want to stop. All right. Lost
I
Creek.
felt like somebody somewhere could see my dad and Russell running through the woods of Lost Creek.
Okay.
Oh, it's a shame Jessica never got clean.
Your dad is Russell. My dad is Walt.
You know, the last time I saw her was honestly awful for me.
I really actually like this.
Lately on
Ooh.
Sundays he started to sleep.
That was good. That was good.
Trading in on your father's theology. I know you loved him, but not equally. To your big tent revival ministry that never really turned out to be worth much of anything.
Growing up in the church, I definitely think growing up in a religious household, like until I was old enough to come to my own terms with what my faith is, I can remember feeling like I had to kind of put on a show, and feeling like it was a lot of kind of fake stuff, and again, seeing that they even have like a similar religious tension to their writing to what I did in the time period of my life that I spent time listening to sad boy indie rock, which is a good chunk of my life, just so you know. Like I'll tell you when it ends, but I guess I'm really. It kind of feels like listening to an album that really spoke a lot of things I used to feel once upon a time, but maybe don't necessarily now. Like I've kind of grown up to the point of, I've kind of grown up to the point of feeling like a lot of this stuff is a bit behind me, but I can remember feeling the ways that these things made me feel. And so it puts me kind of in a place of understanding where it makes a lot of sense to me. I very much am enjoying this. And definitely, yeah, Crimson, like you kind of feel like, and I've commented on this to my parents, I had an inherited faith that I felt obligated to believe in, and it wasn't until I walked away from that faith and came back to it on my own accord in a way that made more sense to me. And not in a way that, was what they told me in church on Sunday. It was not in a fake, gross, for show kind of way. But that's neither here nor there. The wrestling with the religious identity is definitely hitting me, especially for that time period of my life.
Gonna die with that ego. Never fly, he never sleeps.
Sorry you had to deal with that, bitch.
A vacated boardroom.
Took me a long time to realize clergy are people too, and we just put them on a pedestal because they're clergy. And yeah.
Wine on the widest tee.
And oftentimes they get bigger than they in their ego than they need to be, and they do more damage than good.
Guilty movements, the ponder secrets can keep. You say you love me, but if you could see that the payday that comes when you touch me
Oh man.
never really turns out to be worth much of anything.
I have not done the deepest dive on Sufjan. Just familiar enough with his work, not hugely. Oh man. I would say my experience with Sufjan Stevens has been back when Pandora was the thing that you listened to because Spotify hadn't happened yet. Sufjan would come on Death Cab Radio. It'd come on like the Decemberist radio. It'd come on, like Snow Patrol radio. It'd come on a couple of, like, this is before Snow Patrol put out a whole bunch of, pop hits back when they were an indie band. But yeah. Band of Horses played Sufjan. The Weaker Thans played Sufjan.
I felt like somebody somewhere could see my dad and Russell playing with my cousin and me.
I like their lyrical arrangements here. They're not conventional, and it's nice.
Do you know how to get back to Lost Creek?
I do think that perhaps the biggest comparison I would give this band, though, is Band of Horses.
To that house in the forest where laughter came innocently.
Yeah, the lyricism here, the way he spaces everything out is just
No
great.
problem surfaced and we learned eventually.
And then kind of letting it phase into reverby. No, I was wrong. I liked this. This was swell. We should be able to snooze an ad and make it through this last song, I think. Ambivalent Peaks. Snooze it at the very end.
Can't find the forest,
Oh, wow.
just stuck on the trees.
I've literally written something very similar to that.
But now you're invested, so I'm left pretending. It's all I can see.
Wow. That is huge. Like, you're saying I can't see the bigger picture because I'm looking at one particular thing. But now that you're invested, I'm pretending that all of this is all I can see. Which is so nuts. It's so relevant.
I asked for a window to open myself.
Oh, wow.
You came as kaleidoscopes, climbing, colliding. You came as yourself. And whether I'm ready is not up to me. We go where we're ordered to bunker or breach.
Wow.
To
I like their
the
use
close
of
creation.
this. The slower acoustic guitars kind of remind me a little bit of Elliott Smith, and maybe again, somebody recently commented in my comment section saying something sounded like Elliott Smith, but maybe it felt like there was recency bias. So maybe I have recency bias because I read that comment about Elliott Smith, recency bias. But the slower arrangements make me think of Elliott Smith.
To bunker or breach,
Without the whisper.
to the close of creation.
Elliott Smith is so good.
Shells and stories.
I like his little acoustic guitar run there.
Spiral
Wow.
staircase. A story of queens.
This
I
is
claimed you all conscious, got sleepy, forgetful, and lost you in dreams.
I could so see myself getting lost in this album for a lot of phases of my life.
Right foot to left knee. You laughed in my back, said you could not believe how violent
I did. I just caught that, Flaky. You folded you leg.
just brushing my teeth.
That is crazy. You get violent brushing your teeth.
Drove from the service, spent in my seat.
Definitely some of the Decemberists here. Definitely Iron and Wine.
My woman beside me, a clutch of hydrangeas, a strange sort of peace.
Give it a higher pitched voice, and there's almost a Bon Iver kind of sound.
And loss I made certain.
Oh. Wow.
Unveiled clarity. It's you I will marry, my lover, my family. You always will be. But every word seemed too small to speak.
Oh, golly.
So we watch the sky reach ambivalent peaks.
Wow. Such a dreamy ending.
Made our projections present and free.
Oh, man. I've really enjoyed this. This was such a great time. And again, it's not music I would have expected to hear. Like, I really appreciate just a kind of slow it down, because I've had some really intense listens lately. I've had a lot of things to really pick heavy apart, you know? And this one was really just like a nostalgic throwback to a time in my life where things were simpler, a time in my life where I was really captivated and kind of like, I was listening to a lot of music like this, like in kind of a walking context, so that like maybe my tastes could evolve and run later. And when I hear this, it just really brings me back to, again, that college phase, like brings me back to a lot of just kind of memories of like me going on really long runs, because I ran cross country and track in college, and I don't know. It just I can kind of see myself in like the scenery of like running in like the rainy fall in the Appalachian Mountains. Because if you don't call them the Appalachian Mountains if you live there, you call them the Appalachian Mountains. But neither here nor there. I really, really, really enjoyed this album. I think Bad Books is something I want to look more into. Even just for personal listening, I enjoyed this. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Goodbye.